welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. Right, so I've had a bit of luck. So I was going through my pile of Alan Class comics that I need to clean and press and sort out, and I came across this one I bought a couple of weeks ago. A nice Spidey cover, Secrets of the Unknown 124, and it needs a bit of work doing on it. So I opened it up, and lo and behold, the pages were disconnected from the cover. So you can see here we've got the cover, and it's completely detached from the rest of the pages, which is great. So and you can see the pages there, a bit of staining. It could do with cleaning up. Right, so those of you who watched my previous attempts at trying to attach pages to a cover will have seen it didn't work very well. So I was actually quite pleased to find this comic where the pages are detached from the cover, so I can attempt to reattach them and do a better job. Right, so what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to clean up the cover by soaking it, because that does seem to work quite well with the covers, and I'm not sure how well that comes across, but there is quite a lot of staining on this. I'll take some photos. So I think that might clean up quite well in a water bath. I am not going to put this in a water bath, because at the moment it is held together by the remains of the glue. So if I sort of get the cover cleaned up, I should be able to reattach, put some glue along here and get it to fix onto the cover. So I mean, this demonstrates quite well what happens to Alan Class comics. I think this happens to the spine, is that I think the glue dries out and contracts, and it does this differently to the paper, and that causes the paper to crack and the cover to crack. So I'm going to, and this is a really nice one. It's got the lizard appears in this. Where is he? Yeah, we've got some really nice John Romita artwork here. Yeah, this final page here. The lizard lives. So it's a nice comic. I'm going to try and do a bit of repair work on it. I'll let you know how I get on. Hopefully better than last time. Okay, comic book fans. Okay, so I've cleaned up this comic like I said I would. So if you remember, this cover was completely detached from the main part of the comic. And since I'd messed up last time when I was reattaching a cover, I wanted to try a different method of reattaching the cover. So I took this cover, I did my water bath treatment with it, I soaked it in water overnight, I then dried it out under a cold press. I then applied a different type of glue. If you remember last time, I used a water-based, a PVA glue, which was too liquid and it caused damage to the spine. What I used this time was this, just a simple thing called a Pritt stick, but it's a more solid type of glue. What I did is I held the comic between I held the coverless comic between my two glass pressing plates, and then I simply ran the glue along the spine. I then placed the cover back over the central piece and very gently pressed the spine against the glue. I then let it dry for probably an hour or so, and then I put it in my hot press, 75 degrees for 10 minutes. And what has worked, I'm pleased to say, is the spine we have reattached fairly successfully the cover to the pages. As you'll see here, this is now attached. Also, what you can see is, as usual, the water bath has cleaned up the staining that we had on the cover, and this is now quite nice and white. Okay, did have a couple of problems, so I'm not giving myself loads of marks. So if you examine the before and after pictures closely, you will see that I've actually managed to got a small dab of glue got onto the here, and when I was cold pressing it, that bit of cover came away with the towel that I was using. So I have introduced a bit of cover damage. Nothing ever goes perfectly, and also bad news, the back cover's much cleaner, but again, somewhere in the process I've managed to get some spot of grease on this cover. It is a lot cleaner, but you know, it's always exasperating, you know, when you've cleaned something up like this. You know, you can see the rest of this. If you go back and look, there was staining down here and along down here. That has all cleaned up. Now, however, what I would say is, what I didn't do on this one is I did not do any treatment on the internal pages. And you know, when I compare this to the comic where I did soak the internal pages, they're much cleaner and less brown, and the browning now really stands out on the internal pages against the whiter cover. So swings and roundabouts. So what do I think? So I'm going to give myself, so I gave myself 4 out of 10 for attaching cover last time. I think this is much better. I've done a much better job. So I'm going to give myself 6.5 out of 10. You know, I'm detracting points for this, and I'm detracting points for that. But you know, we learn, and I have learnt. So much happier with the reattachment of the cover on this one. This is lying much flatter. Obviously it has been pressed. These whites now are really nice and clean, and we've done a pretty nice job of hopefully preserving this comic, this lovely John Romita art, and Stanley story, lettering by Artie Simek. Enough said.